renamed as the Rose Opera House. To this day, it provides affordable entertainment to the community, which is in Cynthiana, Kentucky. They actually host ghost walks of the area there, and they have paranormal investigators. It is functioning as a theater, so people are putting on performances there and things are happening. But you also can, weekend nights on Friday and Saturday, you could book it for overnights, so you can go and like do these investigative things,
or just hang out,
right? I just want to go and hang out.
I just want to go there with blankets and sit in the
we
hall.
Can record a podcast right from it, and it'd be fun. So people have captured in general, EVPs capture things on film, objects moving on their own, and there's something called the Shadow Man that people have caught on video that horrifies me. This is the name Shadow Man.
Yeah.
So one time while there, Kelly was doing Etsy's method, which is actually named after Etsy Park, Colorado, where the
Estes.
That's what I said.
Etsy is a place where crafters sell their stuff. Estes.
Yes, that's
sorry.
That's what I said.
That's what I said.
That's what I was being. That's what I was trying to do.
I know.
So during this method, you are blindfolded, and then you have noise canceling headphones on. But inside the headphones, they have the spirit box like output in there, so you can only hear like white noise from the spirit box, and then if anything gets picked up, right? So the other people, part of your team, are standing around, and they're asking the spirits in the room questions. You cannot hear the person involved in the method itself, the one that's basically has sensory deprivation.
Yes.
It has no clue what they're saying because they can't hear anything that's going on. But they will hear responses through the spirit box, and then they will say them out loud. There's actually
video. Got shivers.
I know.
Like, oh god.
There's actually video of this of Kelly's. I think she said this was her first time ever doing it. Of her in her responses on their Facebook page, which we're going to link. You can find it right on Facebook by searching Departed Souls Paranormal, and it's on YouTube also. Of her session doing this, and she was talking to a young girl. She talked to this young girl, I guess, for 16 minutes, which was longer than they normally do, that kind of thing. At one point she says, she hears her say, "Hurt me." She says it. And then she feels this hand on the back of her neck. Well, not a hand, like fingers and a thumb go across the back of her neck. Hold on to it, and a horrible pain goes down right straight down her back. It's so bad that she's crying and like upset and shaking that her husband and another person from a different paranormal group were there, and they had to carry her out of the room. So that was, she said, probably one of the like scariest interactive experiences that she's ever had, which horrifies me. Well, there also was one of because we asked him what was the worst thing that happened.
I would say, like, I would love to do that.
I would love to do
in
that
the sensory deprivation thing. I would love that. Like,
I would too.
I want to do that,
but I don't want anything touching me.
No, I don't even that. I would the thought of being terrified, like it's just amazing. I get like the adrenaline is already pumping through me. And it has even. I'm like, oh, I want to do that so bad.
Matt said that he was the one time when he was there, the only kind of interaction he had, like physically, it happened in the opera house, and he was on some stairs and he was doing a recording, and he felt a tug on his shirt. No one was there to tug his shirt, and he said it wasn't just a little thing; it was you felt the tug. So so they both have had some physical reactions with ghosts in this place. Another video we're going to share with you is Boo Bear, Teddy Krueger. This is the one. So they talk to spirits in the room. So they're talking to the spirit, or I don't know if this one has that, but they talk to the spirit. The interactions with the teddy bear happen, and you can hear the teddy bear respond. Well, in this video they capture, you can see these clear as day. These two orbs come right down and touch right onto the bear, and all of a sudden the bear's like, "Brr, it's cold in here," and I almost peed my pants.
Yes, I know, me too. I was like. Because you can see the little glowy orb go into the bear, and then the bear instantly says, "Ooh, it's cold in here." Yes. I'm like, "Oh my god!"
So we're gonna put that. They gave us permission to share that with you guys on our Facebook page and Instagram. And plus, you can view that stuff on there page also. Another video that they captured, this one was crazy, and it took me a minute. This is probably the one that took a few times watching. But you'll see they're recording where the seats are and where everything is, like the aisles and the seats and stuff in the theater. And you can see, if you watch it more than once, you're going to notice it eventually, but you see this like foggy orb like shoot down the aisle. Yeah. And it's horrifying.
It is.
Once you see it, you're like, holy shit.
I know. You're like, oh my God. It's like blurry flash. Like it's something blurry and moving fast.
Yes.
It's like, I don't horrifying. It is.
I'm going to insert another audio here, in this spot. And this is, they were in the opera house, and you can hear Kelly saying, did you just hear something on the stage? And then you can kind of hear this knocking sound, and you can tell in her voice, she maybe dropped an F-bomb. You can tell in her voice how scared she is in this. And I'm going to insert this here.
Did you hear someone walk on the stage?
Mm-hmm. I got a shoo. That's like on your shovel.
What the fuck was that? I didn't mean to hit your boob.
So she said that, mind my language when she was telling us about it, but we're a PG-13 podcast, so we're fine with the F-bombs. Drop your F-bombs.
Drop your F-bombs.
If I'm scared, I'm going to let out a fuck. I'm sorry. It's going to happen, and I do not blame you.
Sometimes
for that.
Even when I'm not scared.
Yeah. I also have an audio I'll put here of her interacting, and you can hear. I'll let you listen. You got to listen though. Have your headphones on.
Won't warn me next time.
So we were thinking, and she said to us, like, I'm like, why is this guy so rude to me? He called her a bitch. You can hear someone call her a bitch. And she said, I think it's because during the time when this place was in its heyday, it was during like the 1800s, women were
demure.
Yes. And she is like,
Such a little birds.
They're little birds.
Fainting heart.
And they need their smelling salts. And she is not that person. She's a strong woman. She's in there trying to communicate, and they were like, who do you think you are? And then she realized, he probably did think I was a bitch. So I thought that was comical. Yes. Just thinking back of those things. So when Kelly did the Estes method, I had to really think about that before I said it. And I lived right next to them.
Think of another word to take the T off the beginning.
Yeah. Estes.
And
I lived right near there when Griffin was born. Like, you think I could say it right. Method happened they participated in the world's largest ghost hunt, which is so cool. It happens on National Ghost Hunting Day, which I think was September 21st. And people sign up to do this, and all over the place, and they start it at the same time, and they each take turns being live during the investigation, and cool. All over the place, which is really cool. You can buy tickets to like be a part of it, so you can watch it happening, which I think I might do that next year.
Yeah.
Another place that they went to, the Abner Games House or Tavern. It was used as an inn and a stagecoach stop between Cincinnati and Lexington. So there wasn't a lot of places to stop along that way. So it was one of the places they could do it. It's one of the first places. So Abner Games purchased it in 1813. He operated as a tavern and inn and built a house along with it. He had 13 children. Apparently, the old tavern and inn were plagued by murders and suicides. There was at least 9 happened there. So it's trying to compete with the Cecil Hotel.
Yeah, right.
Or the Cecil.
Old
however you
school.
want to say it. Yeah. Locals call this the Kentucky Horror House. So that's horrifying to me.
Yeah.
You can do, again, paranormal. You can rent it out for a night. And if you go to Departed Souls Facebook page, they have live walkthroughs where they were live and in the house, and you can watch their things in there. Inside the house, in the dark, they were in the attic. I don't care if nothing happened. That's horrifying.
Yes.
Their attic is horrifying. And they were up there, and you can hear Kelly talking, and there was someone else with them. I think it might have been Mike with them.
It might have.
Because it kind of sounded like his voice, but I could be wrong. So you can go to their page and watch that and see the inside of this place and see the live videos that they had. I mean, they're not live now, obviously, but they do that often where they'll go and they'll go live on Facebook, so you can watch it. So you definitely want to follow them on there. Some people say that one of his daughters died in 1822, and they've seen a little girl ghost there. But one of the creepy things that happened, she has this picture that she sent us. She took back to back, 3 pictures back to back in the same spot. The first 2 pictures, there's nothing to see. And then the third picture, in one of the middle panes of a window, this is the most horrifying face I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
And she's like, I nothing's been done to this picture. I just took them back to back. And it's like, and she said that Mike's wife was with her. And she's like, someone's playing peekaboo with me. I don't want that peekaboo.
I don't.
Because that peekaboo was horrifying.
No, I don't want that either.
Please don't do that.
No.
No. But anyway, she called
especially with that face.
That face is horrifying.
It was.
It's the scariest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So I'm going to we'll post that too so you can see that because that was freaking horrifying. So one of the things I asked them, which I asked them kind of a selfish reason because I wanted to see learn about other places that are haunted too.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, what's your top 5? First I said, what is your dream investigation? Like one place. He's like, I don't know if I can narrow it down to one. I said, okay, top 5. So one is called, and I don't think I need an explanation to this one, but it's called the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. It's in Western Virginia.
That sounds scary anyway.
Yeah,
even
it was mid 1800s. It had stories of Civil War raids, gold robbery, a lot of stuff happening there. Just the fact that it's called a lunatic asylum makes you know that it's haunted as hell.
Oh, yeah.
It's haunted as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Another is the West Virginia Penitentiary, which, again, horrifying. Old jails are horrifying. We have an antique store here that is the old jail. And it's the coolest place to go. First of all, there are a lot of old antiques that I know are all haunted. Every one of them. And then the cells, you literally are walking in and out of cells looking at stuff.
With the bars.
Yeah.
Yes.
Horrifying.
It's pretty cool, though.
There's a place called Waverly Hill Sanitarium in Louisville. Because you got to say it that way, you know.
Louisville. Yes.
Louisville, Kentucky. One of the most haunted places on earth. It was a TB hospital. Well, first it was a schoolhouse, and then it became a TB hospital for the area. It could hold about 40 to 50 patients, but it became overrun. So they had to build a giant, massive Gothic-style sanitarium for up to 400 patients there. This place, Waverly Hill, became a self-contained little city. Doctors and staff that went there had to say goodbye to their outside life. They could never, once you went there, you never got to leave again. So your staff was there forever until they died. They had their own post office. They had their own water treatment plant. They grew their own fruits and vegetables and their own meat. So everything, they were self-contained in there.
I think somebody did a podcast on it.
I bet they did.
I think that Ash did it on Morbid.
I think I want to do one on this because this sounds so cool. So it was a sanitarium until 1961, and then became a nursing home until 1981. You know, a lot of death has happened in this place. Okay, so you know that place is haunted. So that was his number 3. Number 4 is Madison Seminary in Madison, Ohio. It was a school, a hospital, housing for families who loved ones were killed in Civil War. It's one of the most haunted places in Ohio. There's a lot of apparitions that happen there. People who went there ghost hunting have gotten mysterious wounds and scratches.
We have a place like that in Elmira that was a Civil War hospital / prison at the same time. Oh. And I saw it and I'm like, kind of need to go there.
Yes,
this summer
we're
going there. And I can't remember the name of it, but I came across it on a website and I'm like, oh God, this is a podcast right here.
The number 5 is the Sally House, which is in Kansas. It's one of the most haunted houses. It used to be a physician's home and an office, because back then, you know, the office was in the front, you lived in the back. Mm-hmm. A woman came in with her 6-year-old child, saying she has horrible abdominal pain. Her name was Sally. Sally House, seeing where the name comes from. And the doctor knew it was appendicitis, and he's like, I have to do something. We don't have time to get her. There's no time. It's going to burst. He just starts cutting into her no anesthesia of any kind, no numbingness. She